Are you like me and find it hard to deal with your stress? All the stress that's put on your plate on a daily basis? I find that I have to de-stress all day long, different situations. So I'm here to give you some pointers on how to de-stress yourself. It is so important that we don't have that stress in our body and in our lives. It wears down our bodies, it runs down our mind. We find that we're ornery, we're tired, we all different things, and we're sometimes mean to others when it happens. So our job is to make it so that we can be nice to people and that we can deal with our stress. There are two different types of stress. There's the stress that I'm talking about, and then there's de-stress. And that one is the stress that we use to become better. So we push ourselves and we say, okay, well, I didn't do it this time, but I'm going to do it next time. That's a good type of stress. And you can turn any stress into a good type of stress. That's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. Try to find ways that will work with you so that you can find time to de-stress. It's hard. There's so little time in our days and so much to do that it's really hard to focus on what we need to do for ourselves. I know with myself, I always give to everybody else. I give to school, I give to work, I give to everything. And I kind of fall into the category of me being last of what I need and that sort of stuff. You need to be flexible. Flexible is important because you don't know when that stress is going to come. It can come at any time. It can come in the car. It can come when you're in your work situation. It can come with your family, and you have to figure out how, at that point, you're going to deal with that stress and what you're going to do. Make sure that you remember to listen to your body. You know, sometimes when I stress out, I'll shake, I'll have red face, I'll be, like I said, angry a little bit, things like that. I don't process things the same way. So I, for one, most of you probably are the same way. We need to figure out ways to not stress so that we can be nicer to others. So school, I know even as a young girl, I'd be sitting in school and I would say, oh, this is kind of boring. And I start doodling on the corner of my paper or, you know, start ripping off little things and that, tying my shoes, things like that. We kind of still do that as even adults. We find ways of our minds are wandering. We'll find ways of kind of bring it back in if we want, or stay out there on a tangent, whatever our minds feel like they need at the time. One day when I deal with it, and I've had to be doing this a lot with my eye, is I have to set timers. I'm only allowed to use my eye for so much a day. I can do very little reading. So I have to set timers, because if I don't set timers along the way, then I have major headaches and I have my gas bubble that's moving around in my eye. So I've had to learn how to use those a little bit more. One thing that I do at school is the fidgets, these things like that. I have them on my keychain, I have them on my backpack, you know, all different places, but they kind of help me. It's been really hard because I haven't been able to drive, so I have to be a backseat driver. I know that just sucks, but it's just how it goes. At home, I have a lot of stress. I walk in the door, and as soon as I walk in, I'm being demanded on. I need this, I need that, I need that. So I try to de-stress. I try to calm myself down and do the breathing that before I even walk in the door. And there's been times really that I've said, you know what, we're having ice cream before dinner, because that's what I have to do to get through that day. It's okay to do breathing techniques. It's okay to be spontaneous. Sometimes I'll walk in and I'll be like, you know, gotta be crazy for a minute, because it is crazy. My house is crazy. It's not right now. Lucky, you guys are lucky. But sometimes we sing like opera stars. Sometimes we play music, or we're in a band. You know, we have, you know, video games, things like that. We try to be spontaneous as much as possible, because you have to smile through, you have to have fun. Life's too short to just be serious all the time. Animal yoga, we give lots of hugs. If you can find a nap, great. I can't, but I know it can be done because I've seen my husband do it. I've seen him nap on the couch before, even in the, you know, mass chaos of my house. If everything's going on, he'll still be over there napping. So I know it can be done. At work, I find that my job is really stressful. I have a lot of people relying on me. I have a lot of people I deal with on a daily basis, I have to sometimes calm down, think it through before I respond to somebody. It's okay to doodle at work. It's okay to have fidgets. I find I can shoot about 5 little baskets. I'm waiting on the phone for for something on my water gadget. I have the Buddha the Buddha water pen where you draw on it and then it disappears. That's kind of fun. I have the Zen garden where you can rake the sand on my desk. I find that if you don't have a cluttered desk, it's a lot better. So just clean off your desk, have as much of it off as you can, and then when you need that certain thing to kind of calm you down, grab it, bring it to your desk. That way you don't have to focus on the dirty and getting all that out because all this to-do lists, all these things like that. Also, one of the things that I have been working on at work is I call it the BS method. And I always say, are you BSing it? And they're like, okay, I got to remember. So the BS method for me is to breathe and smile. And sometimes it could be the crappiest situation and I'll have to breathe through it and smile and kind of move on with that. But if I don't, it just gets worse. You have to find ways of making a negative situation into a positive situation. And that's kind of what de-stressing in this aspect is. Go outside, get some fresh air. If you have a bike, go on a bike ride, go on a run, go on a walk, bird watch, lots of different things, picnics, everything you can think of. If you need to calm down and you just need a minute to go outside, then go outside and do that. One thing we do is we do a lot of campouts in the backyard because we can't go, obviously we can't go camping all the time. We do love to go camping, but we just make do with what we have. And that's what I would suggest. If you could come up with a hobby, one you can take with you would be great. Crocheting, knitting, coloring. There's lots of adult coloring books out there. There's all sorts of different like Sudoku, those game puzzles, things like that. You could always do cards. Those can all be like kind of like a type of hobby. One thing that I like to do is origami. I know. If it frustrates you like it did when I first started, then just get rid of it. Don't keep it. Just get rid of it. Only do what you think is going to make you feel better. Whether that's painting the lines, maybe that's, playing in the sand, whatever it is. And remember that the whole idea of this is that you remember that you need to de-stress. You need to find ways of dealing with that stress and turning it from a negative and putting it into a positive. And if you're not doing it, then do it. And the biggest thing is just keep doing it and make sure you do it better.